We built an interactive dashboard with Livewire, but it's all text and numbers so far. Let's show this data and charts. I'm Harris from Laravel News, and today we're adding Chart.js to our Livewire dashboard. Chart.js is free, easy to use, and works great with Alpine.js. So let's go ahead and install Chart.js. Let's go to our terminal and run npm install chart.js. Perfect. Now let's go back to our code and open up app.js. I'm going to copy and paste the imports in here. You can have a look at them later on Github. So we're going to import chart, line controller, line element, and the rest from chart.js. And let's register those as well. We're going to chart.register and pass all our elements. And last but not least, let's chart in the window. So window.chart equals chart. So we import only the parts we need. This keeps our bundle small. Then we make chart available to our Alpine.js by adding it to the window object down here. Let's go back to our terminal and run npm run build. And now our build is ready. Let's go ahead and add chart data to our dashboard component from the previous episode. Let's go to our code, open up dashboard class, and up here inside the update date range function, we're going to add a new dispatch. So we are going to dispatch an event. Dispatch, the event will be called charts updated, and we also need to pass some data. Those will be the chart data. We're going to pass the data from get chart data function that we're going to create right now. Let's go down here and create a public function called get chart data. This is going to return an array, and we'll have an end date in here, which will be now, a start date, of course, and the start date will be based on the date range we have. It's either day, week, or month at the moment. So let's go and have a month for this date range, and we're going to have today, which will be now, and then we get the start of the day. Then we do the same thing for week, it's be the start of week, and we're gonna have start of month as well. And let's default now to the start of month, just like what we use month date rates. Now that we have the start date, let's go ahead and get the orders. So the orders will be the order that are marked as completed, where between, and then we have the created property also be between start date and the end date. Let's get them. And now the next part will be to group them. So the grouped ones will be orders. Let's group them by order, the created at, and let's format that to year, month, day. Then we'll set the period, and the period will be a Carbon instance of the parsed start date. Let's go ahead and import that. And we use the toPeriod function we already have from previous episode. So we parse the start date, and the period will be set up to the end date. Now that we have the period in this case, let's go ahead and go through the period date. And in here, we're going to define some properties. The first one will be the date string. It will be the date format with year, month, day. If I could only type format. Then we have the day orders, which are the grouped orders we already have. And we get the date string as key. And let's add collect as default. The for each loop in this case is where we build the chart arrays. We use the Carbon instance up here in order to get the period. And this will create a list of every day in our range. Then for each of those days, we get that day's order from our group data. If there are no orders for a day, we get an empty collection. And that's the whole idea behind this. So now we build 3 arrays. The first array will hold our labels. So let's go ahead and do this. Labels equals date, and then let's format based on a month. And then we add the J, and this will give us something like December 1st. The next array will be the revenue data. So the day orders, what is sum, the total. And then we have the third array called orders data. And this will hold, again, from the day of orders, the total count. Chart.js needs these separate arrays to draw the charts. So when the date range changes, we dispatch this event to tell the chart to update. One more thing we need to do is to scroll down to our render function. And down here, we don't only need the orders, but we also need the chart data. So chart data will be the chart data we get from the get chart data function. And in this case, chart data will be based on the get chart data result. Now let's go ahead and add the charts to our view. We use Alpine.js to connect Chart.js with Livewire. Let's go to our dashboard. I'm going to add the charts inside our dashboard file. Let's go again and discuss them. If we scroll down, you'll see this new part. We have the charts grid, where we do have the revenue chart. We have a heading using flags, and then the important part is here. We have a component and the data are we use Alpine.js for this. We have X data and we call chart component function. We're going to check on that later. The title will be line, the label will be revenue. Then we have the labels that we want to show to our chart and the data, some colors, and the field will be called revenue. This is standard Chart.js documentation. You just need to go into Chart.js documentation and you'll find everything in there and how to structure your charts. Then when we update the chart, we call the update chart. We pass the detailed chart data. The same thing we do with the order chart. Again, chart component. This time, the type will be bar. In this case, we have orders, the name of the label. We pass our labels and orders again, another color, and the field will be called orders in this case. Then if we scroll down, all the way down, we have our scripts. And the basic script we have is the chart component, like we mentioned earlier. And what this does is we define the init function, which will be initialized when our component loads. We store in this chart property the new chart. We reference the canvas, of course. And then we have a type. This is either bar or line or whatever have you. And then we pass the data. Inside the data, we have labels, we have data sets, and we have some options. We define this to be responsive. We set maintain aspect rated false. Then we have some plugins. In the plugin sections, we define that the legend will not be displayed. And we have the scales that begins at 0. And we have update chart. So whenever we do anything that updates the chart, when we change the date range, this will call this chart update. And it will also change our data inside our data set. By the way, I went ahead in our dashboard and in the get chart data, since we return an array, we need to go down here, obviously, and return the labels, the revenue, and the orders in an array as well. That's the FYI. So this is how our chart looks like. It's pretty beautiful. We have the revenue thread here. You can see, we can hover over it and see some more extra data based on the date. If we do it for this week, we'll see, because we only have one day that we had orders for this week, December 8th, everything's gonna go and pile up here. As you can see, if we hover over, we have the 4 orders, it's matched with the total orders. Same here, December 8th revenue, $742.47. And obviously it is the same for today and this week because we only have orders for this specific day. But for this month, you can see the chart is totally different. The bar chart is also beautiful as well. If we refresh, you can see that it's almost instant. We could also go ahead and cache those data so we don't keep fetching them from the database, but I'm not gonna do that for now. We've added charts to our dashboard. Chart.js is free and works great with Livewire and Alpine.js. We do use wire ignore, so Livewire doesn't touch the charts. We dispatch events to update charts when data changes. In the next episode, we'll add caching to make our charts load faster. Right now, we hit the database every time the page reloads and the date range changes. So we'll fix that with Laravel's caching system. If this episode helped you adding charts to your app, hit that thumbs up button and the hack button as well. And don't forget to subscribe to Laravel News for more videos coming up. See you in the next one.